Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction for Middlesbrough 0, Everton 0. Yeah, it was a bit of a crap game, wasn't it? Disappointment after, obviously, we've been on a good run and we were looking to this one to try and really put pressure on the top six, the top four even, although that's a very, that was really slim chance. It was a chance to try and get closer to Liverpool and to try and put pressure on Manchester United and all that. And it didn't really happen. Ronald Koeman went with a flat back four. I thought he'd start with three. We went with the four last week against Bournemouth. For periods it worked, but when he went back to the three at the back, we took the game away from Bournemouth. And I thought that'd be the way which he started today, but he didn't. He went with four. He put the midfield in we've all been wanting to see. Garner back in for his first game since January, since the City game, was it? Or no, it wasn't, since the Southampton game, sorry. His first game back in, he was in alongside Schneiderlin. Tom Davies was further forward, Ross Barkley in there as well, and Ademola Lookman. And in the first 45 minutes, thought Everton totally controlled it. Middlesbrough, the odd moments on the break, Adama Traore, I thought was a threat all day. Real fast, powerful player. He's got no end product, which is probably why he's not still at Barca, because he's got a lot of the attributes. He's a real threat when he's running the players. But they offered very little in the first half, and I felt as though it was only a matter of time before we would score the goal. We started off brightly. We got Tom Davies in a couple of times. Almost got one when it was threaded through. I think Ross put him through, or Seamus Coleman might have been put him through, and he was in on goal. He just couldn't get the touch around Valdez. Ross had put a little threaded one through him that he flicked at Valdez as well. And although Middlesbrough were nice and compact, Everton were the ones picking them off. We had the best chance we had in the first half came from Romelu Lukaku getting threaded in, and in that situation when he's running in on goal, you just expect him 1-0. Expecting him to slot. He's in on goal. He hits it left foot, and Valdez makes the save. Just in these kind of games, that needs to go in. Rom last week 4 chances, 4 goals. This week it was a good opportunity for him on his left foot, and he missed it. I'm just wondering, could he just gone across Valdez? Could he have dinked it over him like he did with Boruc last week? Keeper makes a good save. We then have 2 opportunities for Ademola Lookman. Pulls the first one down, a curling cross. I think it's Seamus Coleman again, puts it in. He pulls it down. Valdez is out smartly, makes a really good save. It breaks up in the air. Ross gets it, goes back, cuts it back. Nice bit of footwork from Lookman. Hits it again, and it's a block. But I think it was Chambers that time. And that was kind of it. We were prompting and probing. A few times we'd get in good positions, and the final ball was poor, or it just wasn't quite there. We just didn't look at it today. The conditions, I listened to Ronald Koeman's interview after the game, he said the conditions were poor. You could see it was a swirling, sleety type of rain. But in the first half, like I said, we were the better side. It wasn't a great performance, but we were the better side. I thought Middlesbrough come out second half, full credit to them, took the game to us a bit more. You can see why they've hardly scored any goals. Just don't get enough men up and around the Grado. But like you say, Traore was a threat all day long. But they had one that was headed off the line by Leighton Baines, a corner coming ahead of the Baines. He just heads it off the line. And then what really disappointed me from an Everton perspective was we come out and they looked as though Ronald Koeman had changed the shape at half time, and Tom Davies went a little bit deeper, and it just left. I just thought Rom was isolated. Ademola Lookman was too deep for me. We want him doing that fancy footwork and his tricks in and around their penalty area, not in our half or on the halfway line. So I'm not sure how we're going to work that one in. Second half, we just didn't really ask them enough questions. They were the better side second half, I felt. And the one big opportunity we had, lovely little ball out to Baines, he knocks it inside, and Ross Barkley just plays around the corner ball to Lookman. It's a fantastic pass, and Ademola Lookman's in on goal, and goes for a low, powerful one, and Valdez blocks with his feet. And, you know, just wonder, could he have just bent that with his right foot? Could he have just curled it round him? He went for the same finish as his goal against City. Valdez makes a good save. And other than that, there was very little that we offered. We got in a couple of times and just made the wrong choice. We had one where Ron couldn't quite pick Ross out. We had another one where, in about the 85th minute, where it breaks to Seamus Coleman. And if he just stops the ball, he can pick out Lukaku and then Valencia. They're both square. And he doesn't even look. He just tries to clip it back into nobody. And you're looking at it thinking, if he'd just stopped it, it was almost a certain goal, because he could have walked towards the goal. Their defenders fell and gone off the pitch. Coleman's in. Just square him. He's got a tap, and he made the wrong decision. And then we have to thank Joel for coming up with an absolute worldie of a save from Rudy Gestede late on. A brilliant ball out wide. Great delivery. Fantastic header. And Joel thrusts up that left arm and pushes it over the bar. It was a brilliant save. And to be fair to Joel, he was fantastic all day. Took crosses. He had a block in the first half. I think it was from Traore when we got ourselves in a muddle. Williams, then Coleman got themselves in all kinds of trouble, and Joel's out smartly to block. His handling was fantastic. You know, and one of those things. It's a real frustration. I think you can't go overboard about it. You know, the team, you could argue. I would certainly think at the moment 3 at the back is our best bet without a shadow of a doubt. I think that's what we've looked more comfortable in. We've controlled a lot of games when it's been 3 at the back, so that's what I would play. I think 4-3-3 we've employed doesn't. I just don't think it gets the best out of us. Not when Ron's on his own. But we've had 3 clinical opportunities, 3 really good opportunities. Certainly 2 that I'd expect both Rom and Adamola Lookman to score, and Valdez has come up big twice. So you could look to that. If one of them goes in, it's a different game, isn't it? And we've won the match. It's a little bit disappointing because we were chasing those teams above us down, and that's kind of had a little wobble. But West Brom didn't win on the other side of it, you know, so we haven't really lost anything on that. And we have to move on from here now. We've got Sunderland at home in a fortnight, and it's imperative we win that game. All we can do now is just win the games that are in front of us, and if we can do that, you know, we've got, and you know, we'll see where we end up at the end of the season. We're quite, what's come out of today, quite clearly, we aren't at that Champions League level. You know, and to be honest, we knew we weren't, but it's 8 games unbeaten. Commentator said before, it's the first time we've gone 8 Premier League games unbeaten. I'm not sure if that's an accurate fact. 8 doesn't sound. It's a good run, but it doesn't sound like that hard to do, does it? To go 8 without loss. So I'll have to have a look at that. But at the moment, we're 8 unbeaten. I think since the Derby defeat, we've clawed points back on Liverpool in that time. You know, they were 14 ahead of us when they beat us in the Derby. It was back to 5 at kick-off. They've beaten Spurs. They're winning 2-0 as I'm recording this against Tottenham. So it looks like it's going to be kind of back to 8 points. And all we can do is win our games, you know, and we haven't won today. You know, I don't think we deserve to win. You could argue that we had the 2 best opportunities in the game, but I can't stand there and say that we deserve to win the game because we didn't. I think a draw is a fair result, and we have to pick ourselves up for Sunderland. Just a couple of things from the game. How the hell Clayton stayed on the pitch. He's booked. He was reckless in the first half. He gets booked, and then he does a 2-footed challenge into the back of Tom Davies, which in itself for me was a red card. And Mike Dean, who's absolute garbage anyway, doesn't give him a yellow and send him off. And that was still about 40 minutes to go or half an hour to go. And then Gaston Ramirez, what a horrible challenge on Baines. That was a red as well. But anyway, Mike Dean, he is what he is. He's utter garbage. In fact, the last 2 times we've had him, we haven't scored a goal. I'm blaming him, even though he's rubbish. Yeah, so, you know, we could have done with maybe Kevin Morales coming off the bench today. He was out with, I'm assuming he's got some kind of illness or injury, because there's no way Aruna Kone's made the bench before Kevin Morales. There's, in no world could that ever and should that ever be a possibility. James McCarthy's had a bit of stiffness in his hamstring this week, but he will be back for Sunderland. And we move on to that now, don't we? We've got to go out and try and beat Sunderland. They've been hammered 4-0 today after a 4-0 win last week. So we've got the break now for the FA Cup. Got a fortnight to get everyone ready and rearing to go against Sunderland. And let's hope that when they turn up, we can give them a good hammering and get us into that Spurs game in good form. But it's another game unbeaten, and we've just got to keep working, trying to get a formation and get the players playing as well as they can. Couple of glaring things: the 2 centre backs today for us. Nah, not happy with them as a 2 at all. Ashley Williams, who I think's a good defender, still at times is reckless, and some of his passing's awful. Funes Mori doesn't know where anyone is ever, and is a liability in my eyes. In a 3, it's not as bad. In a 2, those 2 terrified the life out of me. So it's just little things like that. Garner didn't have a good game at all today, which is a rarity for me to say that. But I think, getting him and Schneidling used to each other in that midfield is imperative as we move forward. And I think, going into the summer, we need at least 1, but I would be buying 2 strikers to play alongside Romelu Lukaku and have 1 on the bench. Gabbiadini, who we nearly went for, has got 2 today. He's got 3 and 2 for Southampton. Should we have got him? Would he give us that boost? I have seen his 2 goals today. The first one's handball. Second one was nice though. So, these are all things for Ronald Koeman to address in the summer. Anyway, it's ended Middlesbrough 0, Everton 0. That's my instant match reaction. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. A decent point or 2 points dropped? You tell me. Look out for Ped's instant match reaction. Look out for us back in the studio on Monday to do the final word, your comments and everything else. I'll probably do a very quick player ratings, but it won't be that interesting because neither was the game. I've been Baz. Catch you next time on Toffee TV.